the structure of the day was going to be Lee, who was going to present a bit about ASSIF and his story, his background, how and why we're doing all of this. And then we're going to go on to Natalie, who works for an organisation called the Smile Group, and she's going to explain a bit about what they do and the kind of the impacts and more information on postnatal depression. Then we were going to move on and speak to Kieran, who comes from the Somatic Group. And unfortunately, he was here earlier and he just had a terrible emergency that he had to go and see. But he has left some videos for us, and we'll play some of those videos. And if anyone is very interested in getting in contact, we have his contact information, and we have slides as well. So feel free to
Can I just say he's absolutely lovely.
He said that about you as well. He's like, oh, I saw that Kate's coming.
He is lovely, so if there's any dads or anybody who wants to kind of refer anybody on, he's absolutely lovely.
Yeah, he was very knowledgeable.
He's fab, and he can answer any questions and such and stuff.
And then we'll be passing it on to Kate, who's from the Mums Wellbeing Group. She'll be excited.
Spiders.
Okay, that's fine.
That is just my fingers on the wall.
Yeah, Kate's from the Mums Wellbeing Group, and she'll be explaining it. And we'll open up for questions and answers at the end. We should finish pretty early. Lee's also going to read an anonymous post about her experience with postnatal depression as well. So, yeah, that's going to be our day.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully it goes okay.
Hey everyone, I'm going to stay sat down if that's okay. I just feel like it's a bit of an informal session, and you don't want to, I feel like I'm in a boardroom presenting figures if I stand up in front of you all too. So welcome and thank you very much for coming. So I'm Lee Noble, I am the marketing manager for ASSIF, and I just like go into a bit of detail about myself, why I'm here, what I want to achieve, and what I want to help ASSIF achieve. So. Personally, I wanted to be in marketing from a young age, which I know is very weird because, like, who knows about marketing when you're a kid? I did. Apart from when I wanted to be an architect, so I always remember I was in Spain on holiday with my parents, and I turned around to my dad and said, "Dad, what job can I do that'll make lots of money?" And he goes, "Well, architects are paid pretty well." So I was like, "Right, I'll do that then." Went on a work experience in year 10, I think, realised it wasn't just building houses on The Sims, so it wasn't really for me. And then from there I thought, well, I like business, and from high school I just went into business, did A-levels in business, business management, marketing management at university. I used to work for the UK's largest human capital management software provider, Iris Software, and all of their subsidiaries, which I hated because they literally call people human capital. I think we're all a little bit more than a number. I basically got a bit bored of marketing, pensions and payroll software, especially when your manager wants you to write one blog per day about pension and payrolls and HMRC and the pensions regulator. Funny story about the pensions regulator, but basically, well, yeah, I made it funny in what I did. So we've all fallen foul of the infamous autocorrect on our phones, I'm sure. So I was sending an email once on a train to work, thinking I'll be dead proactive, I'll send this email, do a bit of work while I'm on the train. But I was caught out by autocorrect and sent to my boss and an under director something about the pensions regulator, but it actually autocorrected pensions to penis. The penis regulator was so yeah, that wasn't great. I then moved on to marketing at a branding web design agency called Project Simply. They do all sorts of things. They built Parklife's website for the past 3 years in a row. They do some awesome stuff, and working at a branding agency really helped me to interact with people and the different companies and clients we work with all the time. And also, a lot of people I spoke to were part of sort of mental health, I'd say, providers loosely. in the fact that they were looking at going into businesses to help with mental health issues within the workforce and that sort of thing. It was good to start getting experience in that way, talking to those types of people, and it was really good. I also turned down the junior apprentice as well, so I was out of sugar. They were filming while I was on holiday, so I said I'd rather go on holiday. So why am I here? Why am I with ASSIF? So obviously marketing-wise, but it's all to do with my childhood best friend Andy. So Andy was, I'm sure everyone has one, if you think back to when you were a kid, you had your childhood friend, one or two, and that was Andy for me. I'll never forget when I first moved, I think I was about 7 years old, and I looked out my front window and I saw a group of kids playing on the green down the road, and I was like, should I go out? I'm a bit nervous, so I'll go and say hello. And they were all playing football at the time, and when I was a lot younger I didn't like football. I like United now, so I basically don't like football still. But so at the time he didn't like football either, so he was just sat watching, so I went and had a chat with him. We got on from the off. My mum always called him her unofficial child because he was always at my house, so it was like having a third brother. Yeah, we literally did everything together, from going down the woods, and I'm actually attributed to 2 of his injuries, which were apparently my fault when they weren't. I hit him in the eye with a stick once. He actually blames the fact that he broke his leg on me because he jumped into a sand quarry because I told him to do it. It's my fault. But anyway, so obviously you have all those stories as well where the first time we got drunk together was when we were 18, 14, and it basically just led to the fact that he kicked me down a hill into a stream, and then I decided it was a good idea to go back to my house when we told each other's parents that I was staying at his house, he was staying at my house, when we were both based out in the field. Realistically, that's where we were. So Andy was 24 years old when he took his own life. And the crazy thing about it is that when it comes to getting to that point and going through that, it actually takes 13 seconds to pass out from asphyxiation. And then a further 120 seconds after that is when you eventually take your last breath. And the stark reality of these figures is that the reason I put it into figures like this is because everyone can understand numbers, everyone can get what that means and how short a second is. 120 odd seconds to take away that many seconds worth of life in 24 years and 10 months to the day. And it's always something that I was always staggered with. I usually write on my hand, so I don't have to try and remember it. But and this is one of the main reasons why I am here and why I wanted to come and join ASSIF and be a part of trying to change this and trying to at least stop people having to go through what I went through, what many other people went through. Now, the statistics are quite bleak. In 2017, there were 5,821 suicides in the UK. Now, when Andy passed away, I put on a band night in commemoration for him because he loved his music and stuff. And there were like literally 200 people there just turned up. And I actually know 5 people that have committed suicide. And across all of those, there are in total about 3,500 friends on Facebook that they couldn't speak to for whatever reason. And the average number of friends on Facebook, which actually makes me feel really sad, is 338. It's a lot less than that. And if you were to times that up, that's nearly 2 million people that are affected by just one suicide. And that's not really including family, close family, your grandparents aren't necessarily on Facebook, the friends that you have that aren't on Facebook that are on Twitter, for example. All I wanted to do with the statistic was at least try to put a figure on how many people could be affected, because you could never really boil that down to a number, but I wanted to keep things in numbers. But with those nearly 2 million people that are affected by suicide, they're all 65% more likely to commit suicide themselves as a statistic, because they were personally affected by that tragedy. And the real stark statistic on this screen is the bottom one, that only 1 in 8 adults with mental health issues were receiving treatment, which is crazy. flip that round, that's 7 in 8 adults with mental health issues that aren't receiving treatment. It's mental. So what do we want to do about it? What are we here for? So we wanted to basically introduce to our digital community that we're planning to build a space for people to talk, a space for people to share their feelings, their emotions, what they've been through. And we were involved in focus groups and research with Manchester University based around the after effects of someone that's lost someone to suicide. And of those findings, 87% of the participants asked said that a digital community would help them with the grievance process because it gives them an ability to speak to people again about their experiences, about their feelings, somewhere to vent, somewhere to be angry, to ask all the questions. The amount of times, I didn't have a digital community when Andy passed away. The amount of times I sat there thinking, God, why? 1, why? 2, why didn't you call me? 3, what could I have done? 4, could I have done anything? 5, would you have done it anyway? Those are the sorts of questions that when you let them boil into yourself, that's why that figure of 65% more likely to do it yourself is so high. If you have an opportunity to vent that across a platform to other people, then this is why people feel like it can potentially help them. And that 91% of people said that talking to someone outside of their peer network, friends, family, colleagues, would also be comforting. Now if you think about it, it's very easy to vent your problems to someone that you don't really know because there's no prior knowledge, there's no prior involvement, there's no prior engagement with that person, so no prior judgment. And 81% of people said that they would want the source of information and the connection to be able to engage with people who have been through a similar situation, because as humans we're empathetic animals. We love the social aspect of things. We like to know that other people have felt the same way that we have. I've always said that people don't remember you for you, they remember you for how they make you feel. And that's so important because the reason that Facebook tell you when your friends are going to an event is to make you feel jealous, so you want to go as well. It's fear of missing out, and fear of missing out is from the fact that we're empathetic animals. So if it can be used in that sort of way, then why can't it be used in a sort of way that's helpful as well, rather than just a marketing tool? One of the main reasons why I am here, because marketing is evil. So the tech behind it, this is what everyone has been developing for the past 7 years. So it's just a small video here that just explains it. So it's no sound or anything. So the app itself will start to learn your activity, how long you sleep for. It'll pick out points where you've not necessarily slept for as long as you usually do. It'll notice when you've been on certain apps and the activity you take part in on your phone, what times of the day, how many times of the day. It'll also gather steps, that sort of information. It'll learn the intonation of your voice, the baseline of your voice, and notice any patterns of change and anything that's different in that. It'll take all of that information into like all of that stuff, the deep learning, machine learning, and then it'll notice when something's not quite right about yourself using emotional artificial intelligence. And using that, it'll then hopefully start to alert people if there is something not quite right with them. So it'll be an app, it'll be a bespoke website, and as I said a second ago, underneath is that piece of tech that I've just shown that Omar's been developing and working on since 2011.
That's so wrong.
Yes, I'm on babysitting duty.
So 7 years already of work on this.
Yeah, it was born out of a different. The voice recognition was the first bit of that. And generally, that came out of narcissistic purposes to show it to my friends. But then when I started this, it's taken on a deeper meaning now.
It sounds amazing. Well done, you.
So, what makes us different to what's already out there? There's lots of forums people do speak on. I know the NHS have got one that they get people to go on because I've done it. There isn't a single website though that offers a community information and an engaging service, and we want to create a magazine and a lifestyle type platform where people will be able to talk about not just mental health but also other well-being and wellness events, activities, And we'll also be rolling out services garnered towards ethnic communities as well. Another one of some of the talks that we'll be doing. I've got gate pressure And we'll also be building up to becoming, as I said, an all-in-one community for mental health issues, not just suicide. So ASSIF started out because ASSIF did stand for the After Suicide Support Information Forum, but we're actually dropping the acronym from it. We're taking those words away because we wanted to stand for something bigger than just that. We want to be there to help anyone, because suicide and self-harm aren't the mental health issues. The mental health issues lead to suicide and self-harm. And we want to try and be all-encompassing and not turn anyone away. We don't want to say, sorry, you've only got schizophrenia, sorry. But you understand what I mean. We don't want to do it like that. So how will we grow? Through regular events such as this. We did a men's mental health specifically focused on the fact that it's the biggest killer in men under the age of 45. But also we're looking at donations and things. We're not going to lock the door and ask you for money or anything, don't worry. But fundraising events, advertising, private investors, merchandising. We are also going to white label the product as well, so that we can offer it as a corporate subscription to companies, and they can offer it to their employees as a like a corporate perk. The premium subscription services, when we do eventually come into those. So the future rollout will include things such as a digital community where people can talk about the mental health issues, different language interfaces. We are definitely looking into international expansion. The original talks that Omar did were at the G20 summit in Berlin, and he actually was approached by the Danish government, I think, and the Swedish government, who were basically saying, we will give you the money to bring this into our country when you have the viable product up and running. And we're also looking at, like, mental health doesn't really mind what ethnicity, what race, what religion, what language you speak, and this is why we want to make it available for as many people as possible. And that's why the white labelling offer and the language interface is going to be so important moving forward. We will also have things such as a subscription model, so it's obviously going to be free at the point of need, the most basic services of it, where everything that it does will be free for anyone to use, but we'll add things into it, such as like if we have any meditation type stuff or games in there and things that we want to try and promote to people, just as a revenue way for us, because we need to obviously, we are a mental health company and we see ourselves as a social enterprise, but we need to be investable to help grow this, and therefore we need to show that we can create revenue and we can put things back into the company to provide for investors just to get us off the ground. So this is why we are doing it this way that we're doing it. And finally, it's said that by 2030, the World Health Organization predict that depression will be the single biggest health issue in the world, which is frightening in a way. Like, the mental battle within your own mind is what's going to be the biggest health issue by 2030. And to me, the only thing that we can do, say 12 years before that date, is just to be proactive and to do something about it now to stop us ever reaching that dire strait. So that's me, that's ASSIF, and I hope that's the first time I've done that. So, so I hope it's